Hello and welcome to another episode of the Lost in the Burger Sauce podcast. Today we're going to be talking about football versus basketball. What's better? What's more entertaining? Let's get into it.
I think I saw there was a tweet yesterday, and it was saying something like, how can you be from the UK and you find basketball better than football? And I thought it was interesting because you guys can't hear that. Anubis is agreeing.
No, I'm just isn't it?
Just as an aside, I always like when Lewis is even if he's not paying attention, because like his reactions to things is just too funny to me. Like the sound, like he's like, or he goes like, and then the eyes and everything. I just love like just him just reacting to shit. Like it's funny.
So you were saying about that, Darren?
Yeah. So I was just looking to see what everyone's opinions are on it. I'd like Anubis to be involved in this one, but But yeah, what about you guys? Because obviously, I'd say football is probably still higher for me. But obviously, for me, it's just obviously how much I hate Arsenal factors into that.
Oh, what is the question? Oh, football, basketball.
No. I think like why? No, so like
In this country.
so the tweet. Let me read the tweet. It was like UK people who like basketball over football, and then they did like the sick face emoji. So they're saying like, and I'm saying like, why is that a bad thing? Or
Like, it's probably most people like not good at football. This time.
I like basketball. I'm right at football.
But yeah, like football though.
Yeah, true. I don't like it over it. Yeah, that's true. That is true.
If we had a chance to go watch Arsenal in the final, you're only gonna watch them.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think the thing about basketball is, like with football, it's like, I prefer football over basketball. Like, I'd watch the Champions League final night if Arsenal aren't part of it, over like one of 7 games in the NBA finals. But I think the thing about why people like basketball so much is because it's so so player dominated.
So someone brought that up. They were saying like NBA is very personality focused. So there's like you get celebrities with big egos and that kind of thing. Like they've got a big presence. Whereas football players aren't really like that. You obviously get the odd ones like here and there, like Pogba for example. But yeah, with Ibrahimovic, yeah. But you've got like LeBron, you've got like Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, Westbrook. Like they're all like proper figures. Whereas football players are just. Me personally, I mean, I can see why people would prefer basketball over football in the sense of the pace of the game. Like a lot of football. Like personally, I can't watch football that's not Arsenal. Like it could be Chelsea versus like Man U today. I don't think I'll actually watch that game. Like I just really don't enjoy watching football that I don't have an actual interest in. Whereas with basketball, I could watch like I was going to say Atlanta Hawks, maybe not that far.
Wizards,
Wizards.
No, I'm saying like not like.
Yeah.
Watch
But I could watch like Celtics Mavericks, or like some of the upper professional ones. Yeah.
I would say for me, the reason why I prefer watching basketball over something like football is because, unless it's a big game in football, is because in basketball you have 24 seconds to hit a basket, or not. Whereas in football you're averaging 2-3 goals max.
Yeah.
Sometimes a game over the course of 90 minutes. That's like 3 goals every 30 minutes. Whereas basketball is basically a bucket every 24 seconds.
Yeah.
So it's really fast paced, and again, like you said, personality dominated. Football like that, you've got big characters like Kevin Durant, LeBron James. You want to see these people play. So that's for me personally.
So for me, it's the pace of
I can see Anubis is loaded.
Trying to get everyone like, alright, you go.
Go.
Well, I don't know, like, I guess for me it's different because I can't really count myself as being like from the UK.
Yeah.
But even then, I grew up in Nigeria where it's football.
People love.
Like it's football. Basketball is only very recently started to become a thing there. Like it's football, and I've never liked football like that. I don't hate football. It's just it never for whatever reason piqued my interest. Like I'll play a game, I'll do all of this, but it's not like a thing for me. But with basketball, I feel like the biggest thing for me is like participating in it because I can literally pick up a ball and do whatever. And you can do the same with football. But I feel like you don't get the same thing out of it if you're just playing by yourself with football as you do with basketball.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Like for me, that's it because I can literally pick up basketball and like improving my skills or whatever. But with football, it's a lot more like it's different when there's another person to bounce on.
It's more like team people based as opposed to like basketball with you.
Exactly, yeah. So like you can work on individual skills in football, but it's more like the skills you get there are like more like the gimmicky stuff, right?
Yeah.
But then if you do the same gimmicky stuff in basketball, that's you improving your one-on-ones because that's most likely what your matchup is going to be. Like that can directly translate into a game, as opposed to like okay, just knowing how to do Legovers. It's like there are very few moments where that'll come up in actual life. So I relate more to that, and so with that, piqued my interest more. I follow the games a lot more, so yeah, it just went that way for me.
So
I think.
yeah.
I was wondering what Legovers was.
No,
kick-ups. I'm happy that it's kick-ups and not step over.
Those ones we said.
Man disrespected the sport, bro. What?
No, that's not what I meant. The thing. And then with the step overs, we call them Legovers in Nigeria. Yeah, so I know the difference in the two.
Wait, before Anubis unleashes, I just saw that because I think a lot of what people think of it. Because I know it's coming.
I've got some points.
But I think
first of all,
one thing of it, from what I especially noticed from social media, is people see people who like basketball as a way that, you know, like say for example, British people will like American culture, so like they will like players like Drake, people like Jay-Z, like stuff like that. So they see it as kind of that, or they see it as liking it because it's cool. Whereas like me personally, I like the sport because I love the sport and always have. But obviously, I can see in that sense why people would have that opinion. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, I got that. Before I get to jokes, one of our points was that I could give it that the basketball culture seems more live and more fun than the football culture. Even from like young training. Yeah, we play football. Apart from, I guess, playing with your friends and blah blah, playing in a cage, playing in whatever. Actual going through the system of playing in like professional teams is not as enjoyable or because basketball is more player focused. You can kind of express yourself. Obviously, over there, it's a lot of it is. Obviously, LeBron was kind of the guy from when he was young, innit? So you don't really get that in football. Like if you get that, then they have to be playing there. Like you're not in the, you know, no matter how many goals you score in youth level, they will never rate you over someone who's already in the like level now, innit? Yeah. So in that regard, the whole culture thing is completely different, and it's the same way the NFL thing for them. Like they're young they're superstars from young, innit? Yeah. Like football, it's because it's a lot more team based. It's a lot more, the culture is like, okay, you kind of have to do your thing, like kind of be in this place because, you know, it's for the sake of the team, for the business, blah blah, all that type of stuff. And I guess in England, it's like, oh, they don't even let you do skills in that much when you're in that system in it of, oh, you're trying to be. I guess they're doing it now because we see people like Sancho and all that like go places and do stuff. But I guess and that's the one thing I want football to have, because a bit more personality. Because and I think it's happening now with Pep and that, because when the whole Man City thing, like they beat the case basically, and then Pep was like, oh yeah, but you need to look at them, man. You need to look at Man United when they bought Harry Maguire. We wanted to buy. I think he said they wanted to buy Maguire, innit? But we couldn't buy him. But Man United, when Arsenal was there and Arsenal took over, they bought all these players, when blah 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 and all that stuff. It's like, and Jose was chatting the other day. Like I like that because one, that intensifies the rivalry that's happening, and it just brings the stakes higher in it. Like I don't really like how everyone is like, oh yeah, even after the game, I want to see interviews where people are pissed. Like that's one thing I like with Liverpool players. apart from the fact that they're champions, it's just the fact that when they lose or whatever happens, like they're pissed in it. Like when, and you can see, when they come back, they're gonna do something.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh yeah, Robertson is, he's dirty, but we need that in it. Like we need that, and if he was just like after the game, like, oh yeah, we tried hard, and so it was just unfortunate. It was like, I want people to come out like, nah, that was dead, innit? Like, we should have got a pen at the end. These refs, we got VAR, whatever. Yeah, we played well. I'm not happy, but I want that. Like, I want the little like sharp rivalry that carries on into international duty. Like, I want that.
But I think the funny thing you're saying that is in basketball, you don't get that intensive rivalry at the professional level all that much. So, for example, like at a press conference at the end of the game, like it was a bad game and stuff, you can see them demonstratively. You can see them like really animated on the court and like going after it and fighting. But when they get to the podium, it's like, oh, we didn't set a screen.
No, but it's like, but you can see on the sideline they are saying stuff.
Exactly. Yeah,
you see it. Like, you know what I mean? In football, you don't like.
Yeah.
Even like now you can kind of hear stuff, but you don't really see it. And also, the culture, like, okay, I'm just gonna say, black culture is more integrated in American NBA, and I guess like everything around.
Because let's be honest, football's a white sport.
That's what I'm saying. And even though we've got, and even the time when it was like Brazilian, all that type of stuff, it was still. The culture wasn't like, oh yeah, we have musicians in it as well. We have people who are in other things doing stuff like that. It's just literally football. Yeah. They're talking to football. They're on football panels. You didn't see a footballer on like, I don't remember last time I saw active footballer on like Jonathan Ross or something like. I saw Beckham when he was done. You don't see. I guess now they're doing stuff, social media, whatever. Seeing the YouTubers, they're doing their stuff and all that. So, and also, my original point on why basketball is not like, I just think people here are just not rating it because, as you said, oh yeah, they have to score a goal every 24 seconds. For me, that becomes redundant because it's like, what kind of score is 104 versus 102? Like, it don't get interesting until the fourth quarter, like, because...
No, but this is where, and you're exactly right? Because like, even when I'm watching a basketball game, I can afford to miss the whole thing. I just have to play in the background and then not really focus on it until the fourth quarter. But here's the difference. In the middle of the games, the reason why it's so intense is because in that 24-second clock, like some mad stuff can happen. You hear a spin, a dunk, a crossover. Like that kind of stuff happens a lot more frequently, say on the 1v1 cases, than say in football. Where like Messi can like cross someone up or put it through the legs. But that can end up being like a pass back.
So I have to disagree with you there because it depends on who you're watching, and two, it's like there is always obviously you can get the games where both teams are playing dead, and even then, or like one team is playing dead and the other team is just being mad defensive. Those games are boring, innit? But you could also get the games where both teams are dead, but the game is exciting because they're both trying to attack and both defense the shit. You can also get the games where both attacks are dead. And it's just bare chance, but it's just all getting missed.
You can get those games. What I'm saying is you're more likely to get those kinds of spectacular moments in an NBA game a lot more frequently. Like they happen a lot more frequently than they do in football.
But that's part of my point. If everything is always happening all the time, it takes away the specialness of it. And it's like, that's why when someone does score a screamer, it's like, oh shit, because you've just turned the game, and now the whole game has changed. Like when someone does a whole the dunk was wavy, the game ain't changing. It's just 2 points and then we go again. Like he could have done the maddest move. Don't be nothing. Like you could take a man. Okay, they could be losing. A man just goes 1-2, bottom corner, 1-1. The whole game has changed. The whole thing has changed. And in football, that type of and I think the mental thing is a lot like it plays a lot more in football as well.
But you could say the same with NBA in the sense that there's specific shots or specific like dunks and stuff that can change the game.
No, but I'm saying in terms of but because the point system.
Like the flow,
because of the point system, it can't.
Like, but see, I'm saying because it doesn't do it to the level that football does it with the way it can change the game. But again, depending on who's playing,
No, but it
that I'm
can't.
telling you,
It can't.
like 2 points can like
Nah, the
mess
thing
you
is,
up.
It can't.
with NBA, a lot of it, or the term that's used, is a game of runs. So sometimes you can score a point or a basket, that leads to like a 10-2 run. And then that's the same type of thing. It's just done differently.
No, but it's not.
I get it.
It's not as
The
deep
point
as
system
football is.
does
No,
make
but you
it.
see, because you see why that's different is because they could have that, but then in the next quarter, that other team could also then make up that same thing. In football,
And that's the excitement.
no. In football, when that happens, it's only if a team goes, like a team is not going 5-0 up, and then the other team is then scoring 6. Rarely that happens.
Yeah, but that's because it's like slower pace.
Yeah. But I think that's for me is why it's more exciting because you don't have everything that's going on all the time. You get to see everything in a more methodical way. You're not seeing just because the man has the ball. You're seeing the man that runs. You're seeing the space. You're seeing
But see, the other side of the argument is, and for me this is real, because if I'm watching a game and the team goes up 2-0, more times than not, game over.
Nah.
Like, again, more times than not,
Nah.
game over.
Nah.
I guess I don't like I get your point about like you score 1 goal and that changes the nature of the game because you're now only down by 1. But it seems scores like
because you see
there
that.
are more chances where the game is just like
Because you see the 2-0 is where it gets interesting. Because the 2-0 they think they're comfy, but when they score 1, they're rattled. And then when that 1 that comes from momentum, then that turns to 2. Then it's super rattled. 2-2.
Like,
If basketball, basketball, it's only if you have like a 30-point lead and you're in the second quarter, that's when it's like, no, but exactly. So it's like, what kind of game are we playing here? You know what I mean? So when the team does come back, it's not really a big thing. But when another team comes back, every time a team comes back,
that's where the personalities come.
No, what I'm saying, every time a team comes back from 2-0 down and either wins or draws, it's pretty interesting. It is pretty interesting.
Yeah, but someone coming back from a 20-point deficit is
exactly. Because again, a lot of it, that's where the personality for the NBA stuff comes in. Because say James Harden is down 20-0 and a man goes off and scores 30. Like in that process, every single 2 points that he's getting, you're up. You're like, okay, make the next one.
Yeah, but that's him though. Like,
but then even then, the team's still got to defend. They still got to keep the deficit.
Yeah, but then it's like, that's fine, man, and we'll just score another one as well. Like that's the difference. Like
you're saying you'll score another one.
This is the difference. The difference is with the same way you're saying, more time if they're 2-0 up. More time when they have the ball and they're going at the other end. More time they're going to score.
Yeah. So really, you're saying football is harder to score and it's
easier to score.
Whether
it's hard to score,
whether you think it's easier or harder or not. It's more entertaining the fact that it's not, and that's it. Because it just doesn't have the specialty feel of it. Like it's just the game is just filler until the fourth quarter.
Yeah, this is where the more entertaining part that you just said. I agree with everything you said until you got to more entertaining, because this is where there's the generic bullshit answer where it's like it's subjective. Because I put an American in here, the more entertaining nonsense goes out the window because to them they're sleeping. No football game.
They don't know what's going on.
No,
it's not my fault.
No. The Americans,
exactly, they call it soccer. We're wrong from there. You know,
the Americans who know football and they're watching that, it's like nah.
No, because you put Pulisic on the pitch and they're like, whoa, what's going on?
I'm not saying you're
Captain
wrong.
America.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying the more exciting part depends on who you're asking. Because to someone who is American, grew up playing basketball and all of that, that's more exciting than a football game.
You know what's more interesting? A five-a-side basketball game is more interesting than probably a five-a-side football game. I give you that, and that's as much as I give you. There, and that's it.
Yeah, but that's an NBA game. That's every NBA game.
No, but I mean, I'm talking streets. With NBA street, we're taking to the street. Like, do what you want. Foul, and I don't give a shit. Like, you know what I mean? Why he pushed me?
If you're arguing it from your standpoint of why football is better than basketball, then I have no problem with that. But I have a problem with the culture stuff because I just think.
Yeah. I think football. If football had NBA culture, it would be the perfect thing.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah,
that's it. Because if we have all these ballers, I mean, we're seeing it now that they're integrating a lot more in it. But and also, I just think that there's more skill in football than basketball anyway. So
because I think you could make that argument Actually, even then you can't. Cause, I mean, I know it's
still comment.
Messi is more. Well, even Messi, Ronaldinho is more talented than LeBron James. There we go.
Oh.
sauce.
I was going to make a completely different point. I mean, my point was going to be the fact that I feel like in football, especially when it comes to the league, like it's a lot more, like every match matters. Like especially when it's coming to like championship and stuff.
Yeah.
But like with the NBA, it's like you have the Eastern Conference or Western Conference, and then the top 8 teams proceed to the playoffs.
No, but the reason why that is a thing, and that is absolutely a thing, but it's because of the number of games. Like,
But I'm saying, like,
50 games
compared to the Premier League, is like those, like you could skip like a majority of NBA games, like 82 games.
That's what I'm saying. It's more the number of games as opposed to like.
But I'm saying like the league doesn't actually matter. I mean, it matters in terms of like playoff and who gets
Seedings, yeah.
core advantage and stuff. But like
What had the
with football, you have like the league actually means something.
Yeah.
Whereas like if the league was just top 4 teams go play Champions League, and it's like that's it.
Yeah.
But
I can't lie, the filler comment is triggering, man.
You know what it is, and I don't even understand. Like, I don't get the like seeding stuff and all that that way.
yeah.
But even just explaining it, it's just emphasizing my point. It's like,
Yeah.
bro, because I don't know how many teams there are, but I know there's.
I get your point about
filler.
filler, and I agree with it. It's just like to Darren's point as far as the triggering bit. There was a time when that would have triggered me, but
Do you know?
yeah.
Do you know what I think it is as well? Yeah, I think it's the way the NBA as well is laid out, because the fact that it's 82 games plus playoffs definitely makes a lot of the games filler, like especially the regular season games. But for me, if I'm watching a playoff game, like finals or I don't know, like conference finals or whatnot, like for me, none of that's filler. Like because every point is because the games are closer and it's played more tightly, the defenses just get better, etc. That is the perfect. I feel like the regular season is not a good example because you're playing bums.
Okay,
like
so basketball is only interesting when it gets to the finals.
Not that it's not that it's only interesting.
But again, there's certain regular season games.
That's how I go into
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, like, no, and then, again, I'm not discrediting that because it's absolutely more interesting as soon as you enter the playoffs. Like that's just fact.
I think it's not that it's only interesting in the playoffs. It's that, especially for someone getting into the sport or who doesn't know the sport that well, the regular season is not a good way of looking at it unless you actually love basketball. If that makes sense. Whereas with football, I think you can watch really any game unless it's a friendly and it's a competitive good game to watch, etc.
Yeah, I do also just think that the footballers, when they do their thing, the higher level footballers are way more talented than higher level basketball players, higher level whatever, like NFL players. Like I think the skill level to it for what they do.
That's a different question.
For what they do is elite. Like, yeah.
I mean,
the ones who do it on a consistent basis.
I prefer football, but I feel like they're both doing completely different sports at a very elite level.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying they're both not elite. I'm saying
Like
the skill level for what they do
so I can't agree with that.
is better for football. Like, because I could also say if someone came in here with certain particular painting, Caravaggio or whatever, I'll be like, okay, yeah, that is a better skill than what LeBron James is doing right now. If Beyonce came in here and started singing, I'd be like, that is a better skill than what LeBron James does. So I can compare skill levels and talent levels.
I think that's very subjective.
Okay, so you lost me when you start going crazy with the whole Beyonce LeBron thing. But I will agree with your football thing as far as the skill level. I do agree with that. I do agree with that. But when you the whole Beyonce
and also just to piggyback on that, the fact that the skill level is higher also makes the game more entertaining, which also makes the game better for me.
That's no. So I'll take out the argument because the
for him.
reason why I'm taking out the
Except for
argument.
him.
Okay, that's cool. But the reason why I can't rock with that is because in a football game, maybe it's the one I've watched, they don't show off the skills like that.
Yeah, but that's also what I said in terms of the culture in England, isn't it? You go watch an Argentinian game, you go watch a Brazilian game, even a Spanish game, Portuguese game. Yeah. Ballers. Yeah. They ain't defending, but they're ballers. And it's, you're looking at it like, right, no, he just did it. But yeah, I mean, it seems that Precious agrees with me that footballers are more skillful.
For the skill, yeah, I agree. Because the reason why I'm saying is because as far as the skill level, if there are a lot more things like doing things with your hands, there are more people that can do that. Like the ratio of people who can do that, at least learn to do it, is a lot higher than messing around with your legs. Because like you can like, there are very few things I can shoot, or like if I had a bucket of paint, I'm not going to shoot that somewhere that's going to be accurate and going to stop it. With football, I can kick a can of paint around, like you can measure like your accuracy, like your touch, like those kinds of things. And I think there's a lot more dimensions to football in that sense, as opposed to like basketball. Because I always thought like that's the easy way out, doing shit with your hands.
Yeah, you don't really do much with your feet other than walk, like.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. So like taking like knowing what side of your feet to use for certain shots, like those kind of, there's a lot more intricacies in football, I think. So I agree with that 100%.
What do you think, sir?
I think it's very subjective by skills. You're saying football players are more talented, right?
Yeah.
How do you define talent?
They perform their skill at a high level.
Yeah.
Again, so you're saying Messi plays football at a higher skill level than LeBron plays basketball?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it is evident.
And if you think about it,
No, and you know what it is? It's evident when you compare it to everybody else who's played and everybody else who's playing. Because when you see Messi on the pitch, on form, you see shit. When you see LeBron on the pitch on form, you're like, yeah. But then you can also see a couple other men that are doing kind of a madness.
Because the skill level is so high now.
Yeah, but the skill level is also high because Messi's doing it on the highest level against teams. Like people say, oh, Messi.
But it's not LeBron's fault that people around Messi are bums.
Who's no, you're not understanding. Yeah, you're not understanding what I'm saying. No, because I was gonna say, because they said that Messi could never play against, or he can never play in the Premier League because of how the Premier League is. These times, apart from Liverpool, every Premier League team that he's played, he slapped them. Every team.
Yeah, that's one or two.
No.
I'm talking about.
No, but I'm talking about how many times has he embarrassed Arsenal? Like, did he chip it over the keeper and then like?
Yeah, that was a bad team.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? But Messi has done it to everyone, even the highest. Man United when they were what 07, 08, whatever. Like they
jumped over.
He's done it. Even I don't have to say Ronaldo. Look at Ronaldo because I could compare Ronaldo more to LeBron because he works on a more
LeBron's,
what'd you say?
LeBron's more naturally talented. Messi is a better comparison.
No.
I say LeBron.
Honestly, it's not close. Like I'm with you about basketball being like, for me, the more entertaining better sport. But as far as skill level, I'm with you.
No. I'm saying as in to compare Ronaldo and LeBron. Ronaldo is more of a work to his talent type thing, whereas Messi is more naturally gifted.
Nah, so
I don't think LeBron is.
The comparison is good because LeBron's on that workout stuff.
Yeah.
He's
okay. The difference is LeBron couldn't not work out and then turn up to a game and still he does. There are certain footballers who could just turn up. You can see there's bare footballers who just turn up.
Like imagine Ibrahimovic.
Like okay, we'll look at Tarak. Baller.
The streets. He was Tarak.
King of the championship. I can't even like he was the guy in it.
QPR's finest.
That's what I'm saying. Like you just put him on in it. Like take him out. Put him on Sunday. He's doing stuff in it. Like so LeBron is like shit. Yeah, I have to be. Obviously that's because that's a high level in the league. You have to be very athletic. But
But again, like the thing, like as far as like Anubis' point about skill, like honestly, like I'm this is hard for me because I'm trying to look at it objectively because like what does a basketballer do? You're jumping up, you're jumping down. You either can jump or you can't jump, right? And for the most part, you're like 6'9" anyway. It's not that far to a 10-foot rim, right? So that's it. You're jumping up. With the ball, once you can bounce a ball, the only thing is like doing your control. And if you practice it off control, you've got that. Like that's like anyone who can pick up a basketball can learn to control the ball to a certain degree. Not like there's the Kyries of the world that are nice.
So to counterbalance that, football, you kick the ball forwards, you kick it backwards, you control, you stop it.
No, so this is my point. How many kinds of kicks are there in football?
Well, he doesn't. I didn't
Pass,
like, how many kinds of kicks are there? Well, this is my point. How many kinds of kicks are there? Like with NBA, like you're chest passing the ball or you bounce pass it. Everything else is a variation of the same thing. Yeah, but you come on.
Can I leave it?
Exactly, but what are you doing? You're throwing the ball up, it's all up to the other person. All you're doing is jumping, catch the ball, put it down.
Yes, sir.
Like, you're saying so. I'm saying, like, athletic ability is not the same as skill.
Okay.
Skill is different. Like, skill is like, again, like just kicking the ball. Like, not even leaving that one. Like, I kick the ball with this side of my feet, or here, or back heel. You're talking about different kinds of, like, how much power you're putting into it, like, what kind of spin are you putting into it, the whole curve. It's too much. Like, skill, I will wash my hands. Basketball players have nothing on it. I don't think it's close.
Whoa! See how that whole turn around.
No, again,
I love it.
Like, that's why I started off by saying, like, as far as entertainment, I will take basketball as, like, an overall sport over football. But if you're talking to compare skill...
No, to be honest, with skill, I would say football. I just don't think the golf is as big as you're
I
making
think
out personally.
it's much. I think it's
I don't know.
We'll have to
I mean,
disagree.
because you have to talk about like the angle of where you put it on your foot and how much power you generate, but you can easily, if you put the ball in the wrong place in your palm to your basketball, it goes completely different direction.
Yeah, man.
And then you're putting a different power depending on where you shoot.
Plus, the different ways of shooting, like the different areas of shooting, where like shooting
But
close
I
to
can't
the
lie.
marker,
That you could, but there's only within the refined space of how you can do that. There's only so far you can really go with that.
Exactly.
Like, you can't really do a wild pass that many times in a game like that because the space is limited, and when it does, that's why when it comes off it's special, but it doesn't happen because you just can't really do it. Like, you know what I mean? There's doing a little like the way. Okay, let me put it this way: the same way Tierney did that weight of pass yesterday. Man in the NBA are not doing that. Like, because, no. Because that's what I'm saying. Because of the speed of the game, and it's just not happening.
Yeah.
So when it happens, it's like, you know, when someone does a bounce pass, and even like doing a little pass with a little bit of a spin on it, like that's not really happening.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's too much. Even like just on a, like, as far as the flow of a football game, like talking about the athletic stuff. Like the running, the stop and start, like running with a football is not the same as just like running, because with basketball, I can like bounce a basketball here and then take a couple steps. I'm just running normally until I hit the basketball again, depending on the pace you're playing at. With football, like again, watching Messi with the control, like he is running with a football that doesn't go too far beyond 2 inches past his feet. And he is on. Like I've seen like control, stop, start.
You're talking about like the pinnacle of like what football.
No, but again,
Bring it down to Riyad Mahrez, isn't it? Even when Mahrez does that, it's a bit mad.
Yeah, but even comparing to the pinnacle of basketball, who's like LeBron or like again, like who are you gonna bring up? Like LeBron, Kyrie. Yeah, but like the only thing Kyrie is great at, as far as like beyond everyone else, is the ball handling. So that's it.
What about Durant like shooting like from basically anywhere?
Again,
like anywhere. It's not all athleticism.
I never said it was.
I'm just saying.
But I'm just saying, as far as like, think of it this way: like the range of motion, shooting a ball is limited.
So because you can
like, no matter how what angle you're, like your range of motion
is limited. Ball in a different way. It takes
like there's so much more that goes into.
So
what do you mean by limited?
Side foot, so comes outside foot, back heel.
Shoot a basketball.
There's parameters.
Exactly. Like there's
no, not really.
How are they not parameters?
What do you mean Beckham scored from halfway line?
It's wider.
Yeah, like, people can score from like full court.
I swear you can't score from behind your thing.
No, you can't score not when you're inbounding, but you can score from anywhere.
So it has to be within the line. You can't score off the field in football.
Yeah, you can't play basketball.
You can score from
no. But I'm saying you can't. I swear you can't score from.
You can score from your own half.
Your own half, unless everyone else is in.
No. See, you guys are talking about rules and what you're allowed to do. I'm talking about like random man picks up a ball and tries to shoot into a 10-foot hoop. How many ways are you doing that motion? Like how many?
You could step back.
Like the mechanics.
You could fade away.
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, you can.
How many other ways?
Straight up. You can.
So far, you've named 3.
Bank shots.
I said the finite.
Bank shots off the dribble, left and right.
Bank shots, yeah.
I'm not talking about like how you get. I don't know why I'm struggling.
I'm trying to say when you have the ball and you're shooting.
The ball, you've picked up
the actual shot.
I'm talking about. This is my point. Like there's only so many sort of like ways of releasing.
If I shoot,
like a
3 different shots. One comes off more of the left side of my hand. One off the right. One in the middle. Is that as good as football now? That's essentially
no. But
football. There's
how many
side foot, this side, toe poke, and back heel.
Weight of passes.
Weight of pass. You can weight of pass in basketball.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not the same. It's not the same.
You can do like a low shot, a high archer.
It's not the same.
Nah,
floater. Yeah.
Again, like I don't think it's the same. Like
you know it's not the same because it has to impact on the entertainment of the game. So when you see it,
okay, exactly.
When you see it,
Example,
What is more impressive?
Example, yeah. There was a play Westbrook had a few years ago where he's running and he bounce passes the ball and goes through the legs of one of the players and another one catches.
Did I not just say through the legs? Did I not say through the legs like 5 minutes ago? That's what I'm saying. There isn't that many. There isn't that many of those.
Even so, though, but that type of pass, like the bounce to perfectly get it.
Yeah.
That's a skill.
No, I'm not saying that's not a skill, but I'm saying there's far less of that than there is in football.
Yeah.
And that is, and even the way you're talking about Kyrie as the handler guard, whatever.
He's a beast.
There's only one guy every time I'm hearing basketball as a
Now,
handler.
shall I tell you, because the majority of players do like crossovers and stuff. So I think to limit, you can't put crossover in the same sort of sentence as you put like, I don't know, maybe the skills you talk about football, because football skills aren't used as often as crossovers are. Crossovers is like almost a standard dribble for NBA players, like, whereas not every footballer does stepovers. Like you wouldn't really see.
But you could also see the difference of they might not be doing stepovers, but they could do the feint of the shoulder. They could do the Pepe does that well. Doesn't dribble, but he can do that.
You can feint.
Your point about the crossover thing leads to my argument about the entertainment value of the NBA. As far as like any random NBA player can fuck you up, right, at any given moment in the game. Like that has the excitement for it. But as far as the skill level, it's a lot more saturated in football.
What he said I can't think of the word, but you know when you kind of see something so much that it loses its value. That I get with NBA because again, you know, everyone dunks mostly. Everyone nowadays can shoot. Everyone can do crossover and whatever. I get that, but I just don't think the skill level is as wide a margin as
I see that
created.
differently because like the fact that they're playing 82 games in the regular season, like you've seen so many defenses.
Yeah.
Like, you can try and adapt everything as much as you want, but like when people keep trying to make the same like 2-man guard or like whatever, trying to like have this like some sort of way to like try and defend you, I feel like it takes quite a lot of skill to try and like penetrate that.
Yeah.
So I mean, even though it's happening frequently, but like the more you see something happening, obviously you'll be able to adapt to it.
Yeah.
But in basketball, the fact that regardless of how many blockades or how many people they put on person, you can still score. I feel like that's a hell of a skill.
I think for me, what hurts about the whole argument is that a lot of like what Anubis said takes away from how good basketball is in the sense of like you make it sound like it's really easy to score and it's this that way.
No, but the thing is that is shown from just a regular basketball score.
Yeah, the score. That's what I'm saying. Just looking at the score and looking at how they score takes away from the magic of basketball.
That's what I'm saying. It's like if I no, you don't.
Yeah, because like if you made it, you're just like arguing the fact that because it's smaller and then everyone's like the pace of it's a lot quicker.
Yeah.
If you make it like a 5-5 football team, like you again like lose the goals.
That's what I just said. That's what I said. A 5% NBA streak game is probably more exciting than a 5% football game.
But that shouldn't like impact how you view the sport.
It doesn't. But I'm just saying, footballers are still more skillful. I'm not saying.
The initial argument was like the whole like what I thought the argument was the whole like why is basketball or football better in your mind as far as more entertaining? Like, that's where I was supposed to.
But it's still the same thing because the fact that everybody let me put it this way. The fact that everybody can obviously in football everybody can score. But in basketball, everybody can score multiple times. Like there's never a game where a man is scoring and the team's not scoring. Like,
but that's why they've got percentages.
I'm just saying
things like that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying
way more than others.
But this is what I'm saying. In the football game, there is always a chance. Obviously, in a basketball game, there's always a chance. But it's like
that someone isn't going to score.
Yeah, no, but it's like when a team has that high score, it always detracts from the weight of what they're doing. Because if I see I'm going to bring it to the painting. If I see you're doing a painting every other day, the painting's wavy, and it's just the same level of wave. So I'm not really going to respect it as much. I probably should, but I'm not because you've already done it. If you've climbed fucking Kilimanjaro and then your next one is Ben Nevis, I'm like, all right, but when the next, if you've done Kilimanjaro like every other year You know, the next time you do it, I'm not going to be like, wow, fantastic. It's like, well, you've done it 7 times. And like, congrats, you survived. It's a great skill, but for me, in football, it's just more evident. Like,
Wait, so are you saying because basketball, there's so much action, it takes away the weight of the excitement?
Yeah.
Excitement.
Yeah, because the action, because the action has to weigh up to the goal with it. Like, this is what we're about. Like, every sport that we're watching, rugby, NFL, tennis, golf, darts, snooker, it's about how you're getting the point.
Okay.
Yeah. So even okay, I was going to say UFC, but that don't really count either. But yeah, it's how you get the goal. And the way how you get the goal, the point, whatever, in football is way more entertaining and gives more weight than basketball. Yeah, okay, in basketball, yeah, the guy could do a sick dribble, a sick dunk, But then in 5 seconds, another guy could then do the same thing. And then in 10 seconds, another guy can then do the same thing.
Okay.
And then we just...
Because I thought the argument was about skill level, not excitement.
But this is the same thing. Yeah.
Not necessarily, because if I was...
It's the same thing.
If I was to squeeze the football pitch into a small basketball court,
the same thing.
and then I said, five aside, and you had a 24 shot clock, wouldn't all the guys... So let's just score this, for argument's sake, in a full game, 20-20 or 30-30 goals. Yeah. Are you saying that those goals are no longer exciting because...
The game holds less weight. Like, it's that
in terms of skill, you're talking about...
Yeah, because
they have the same skill as...
No, because... Okay, no, but this is exactly what I said. The NBA 5-a-side would be better than the football 5-a-side, because in the football 5-a-side, yeah, the skills will probably be wavier, because, there'll be, it's the streets, this is what we're doing. Yeah. But after a certain point, I'm just thinking, like, yeah, like, I've seen it now, you know what I mean? Like, and then I'm also thinking, yeah, I can do that as well. So, in basketball, I'm not really thinking that. I'm just thinking, all right, there's a point, someone, and it's not really about the point, it's about the skill in 5-a-side. I'm thinking, who's going to dubs who? I'm not thinking, oh, who's going to score this many goals. I'm thinking, who's getting nutmegged, who's doing this, who's getting embarrassed, how are you going to get him back? Like, that's what I care about. Like,
I think ultimately the main difference is the whole team dynamic as opposed to individual dynamic. Because there are a lot more consequences that each individual will have to face from a basketball perspective than the team. Like, you can embarrass a player in football, but it's like, oh, it's a team game, like, the person makes some jokes, but you get embarrassed in the NBA, like, on whatever level. Like,
a one-on-one embarrassment in football is worse than a one-on-one embarrassment in
Nah, it's not.
No, it's not.
It is.
You only have to look at Instagram.
Watch Neymar. Watch Neymar.
Why?
Watch Neymar, because...
Is it because it happens less?
No. It's because the action of what's happening in it. Like, okay, yeah, in basketball, you're the worst that could happen is that you're kind of, your ankle twist, whatever. But that's a lot because, you're on you're like that in it. It's not your fault. It is what it is. But in football, in football, like if you're a one-on-one with a man on football and he gets past you with some sort of trickery that dubs you to the point where you fall over, that's it. That is it. No. But this is what I'm saying. There are way more ways for him to do that with a football with his feet than with a basketball with your hands. And for me, that is not exciting. And that's it. And
but you can still get you could dunk on someone. That would still count.
Yeah, I'm not saying that's not good.
The ways you can get around someone. F that for a minute. The thing I said was the consequence of you getting embarrassed in basketball is you.
But the thing is, you can get embarrassed and then go dunk. No.
You can go score.
Nah.
You can get embarrassed and then go dunk. But what will people talk about? They're not talking about your dunk. They're talking about how someone shit.
Well, then you're gonna have to keep dunking. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to keep dunking. In football, if you're a right back and you get dubs, there's no you're not.
Then the right back goes and scores 10 minutes later.
Well, Trent. You know what I mean? Unless it's Trent, it's not happening. You know what I mean? Only 21. You know what I mean?
I think it's way worse. Like, all you have to do is pull up a video on Instagram of someone getting crossed over.
Yeah, but then how many times are we going to see just a different variation of a man getting crossed over?
Exactly, this is my point. It's still exciting every time.
And I feel like the edge for what you're saying goes to basketball, just because there's a lot more chance for it to lead to an end product. Like, you could score with football. You just
okay. So when someone does that and then scores, what's more exciting?
Yeah, if they score.
Yeah, if they score.
But
If they score.
I
Wait,
think-
wait,
I-
so-
what I said is that I
You
think
can cross someone up and miss, and it's still a good crossover.
Wait. So if someone, okay, so if someone dubs someone and it scores, what is better, in football or in basketball?
Probably the same.
I'm saying football.
Okay, I'll say football. There you go.
Why? But I'm saying
What he's just saying is like in football, it happens less often than
Exactly.
basketball.
But I mean, that's not my argument. My argument is
But this is my original argument
it's
of
more
why
entertaining
basketball's
in
not that good.
basketball because it's more likely to lead to a point or someone scoring. But in football, the fact that it's less likely to happen is like.
And if we're being honest,
That makes it better for me.
watching like City play Burnley is not exciting. Watching Liverpool play Swansea is not exciting. But watching the bigger or like the more close to the competition, I wouldn't.
You're proving my point. You're proving because that's what I said. This is what I said. This is what I said. I said when you have two dead teams, the game can be more exciting. When you have a team that's very good and one is not that good, you can get a kind of a boring team because you know one team's going to super defend.
Oh, so you're saying it's boring in both sports?
Yeah, both.
Okay.
I'm not saying.
Oh, okay. I thought your argument.
No, I'm not there. That's not what I was saying. I was just saying the high points of football are way greater than any high points of basketball of everything.
What about the low points of football then?
Yeah, that's why I said the boringness. You get a 0-0 draw and nothing can happen. That's boring. It's 90 minutes. You can get it back.
So you would say maybe with football,
But basketball, filler. So that's,
But then-
if I say 90 minutes, I'm saying filler.
But then I could say
At least there's always a
I
winner.
would say for a football game, it's also filler
That's
until
also
there's a
dead.
goal.
Why is that then?
That's dead.
Why do I want to see? Why do I want to see a team
I
draw?
see a draw in the game, I'm pissed.
Nah, draws are exciting, fam.
Especially if it's a nil-nil draw. A nil-nil draw.
Draws are
Two
exciting.
shots on target. Total.
Depending on like if it's a 0-0 draw.
Yeah, but it depends. It could be a 0-0 draw and both keepers are
I
playing
see
sick.
a 2-2 draw.
This is what I'm saying. Man hit
The
post.
whole point of
Man hit.
playing the game is to find out a winner.
Now, some draws are okay, I guess.
See,
Not
But
me.
it's
Nah.
contextual, I guess.
Nah.
Yeah,
But
Not
a
me.
what are you
nil-nil.
gonna say?
I was gonna say, so until there's a goal, everything else is filler.
No.
So let's say
You don't even believe that. Like, you don't even believe that. You don't even believe that.
No.
You can't feel it. You can't feel it. Go on.
I wasn't even on your team for that. I was on your side until you said that.
No, I'm feeling inside for that. That's a good point.
I'd say not in every game, but in some games it is.
Yeah, context matters. Because if it's like if it's Champions League and you're at home where you don't concede, it's great.
Yeah, true.
And then if you go score.
Oh, wait, so what about in the group stage and
Yeah,
like the NBA?
Yeah, of
Only
course.
if you
Group
get to the
stage, you
knockouts.
need to- that's different because you're playing 82 games to go to knockouts.
Alright,
What-
okay.
You
Okay.
can't be that. But
Okay, so with the draw thing, right?
Uh-huh.
If you're playing, wouldn't it be more exciting if for every game you played, instead of getting a draw, they played that game out until they found a winner, and then
That's
maybe
dead.
go to penalty shootout?
That's
What
dead.
are more exciting to me?
That's
Because
dead.
like I'm like playing.
I need you ready for next week. What do you
we
need?
have that in finals.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of fillers before you.
No.
No, in finals. Because if you're
every game is not
competition,
finals is a
it's like-
filler though.
every it's not.
No, because every game has a point and gets to somewhere, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Every match.
He admitted that he'll leave the game on in the background and will wait until it gets to the last quarter.
Because if
You know
football
what I
can
mean?
happen at any time.
Exactly. All it
Like,
takes.
it can be done
That's what I'm
at
saying. All it takes for a man to get.
Yeah, but that's still the same. Like as far as the exciting, if the game is done early, then that loses
Wait,
a lot
so
of excitement. As far as
Are you when you said that, are you talking about even like games for teams you support or just
no, it's a game. Like I'm just saying, like as far as like as far as like I'm saying, the only reason I brought that up was like the fact that I hate seeing draws. Like that takes away a lot from sport. Like having draws in whatever.
No,
context.
I was saying about, you know, when you said that you can leave a game on in the background.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay, that's what I'm saying. So
No.
when if it was Lakers, you could.
No, I thought it was talking about me with the draw thing about like in any game.
Oh,
So
okay.
in basketball,
Because I was gonna say,
match.
No, in basketball, like if it's a team I'm invested in, I'm not leaving.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving.
Okay, see, okay.
Because I can watch any game, but I'm not like as intent.
Okay, and the difference is that when it's football is like going to the cinema. When you're watching the game, you're committed to the game, innit? Like you're in your mind, you're thinking, yeah, 90 minutes, I'm doing this. Okay, if I go make a sandwich, I'm gonna do something. If I go do something else and I leave the room for over 2 minutes, I'm not really watching the game, innit? Like you're just, you're eventually you're looking at a highlight and da da da. If you're watching the game, you're watching the game. Like I'm not gonna, you don't watch the game, leave it, wait till the last 10 minutes, and that only gets interested if it is a draw. So this is why draws are important. So there we go.
No, because in the last 10 minutes, you're anticipating someone's going to break the draw. You're not anticipating it's going to end in a draw.
Yeah.
Like for me,
Because no.
That's
But
exciting.
then in that last 10 minutes, there is the extra excitement because both teams are trying to score, and therefore you get that entertainment.
I feel like it's
Not for me, because like I'm like in the last 10 minutes, and I've seen no points, right? It gets exciting. The stakes are higher because you don't want to be the one that loses the goal, but you're also trying to score. Like for me, it takes away if that excitement fizzles out. It's like, oh, nothing happens.
I think it's different because because basketball is just win and lose. Like in football, you get 3 points, get 1 point if you draw. 0 points.
Hold on, excuse me.
That's
Hold on, wait.
and more into the mechanics of it.
Hold on.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, but the draw still matters. Like if you're playing Man City and you're like,
no, but that's just again, like the mechanics makes the draw.
That's where you have no relegation in the NBA.
Huh?
That's where you don't get.
Like, you have teams that beat bums for like no reason.
That's dead.
For high lottery.
That's dead. That's what I'm saying. That's dead. You see Wolves come up, do their thing. You see Sheffield come up, do their thing.
You guys are talking about the mechanics of the sport.
But that's the sport. That's the sport. That's not my fault.
They can do that.
Whose fault is that? That's not my fault.
No, but that's specifically talking about the NBA, not just basketball in general.
That's what is basketball. That's the same thing.
That's not.
I'm not talking about Premier League. I'm not talking about
so there could
Champions
be
League. I'm not
the
talking about
Chinese league where they have a tier system, like division system, and that's exactly like Premier League.
Exactly.
Okay.
I was never.
Okay,
No,
that's
I'm
fine. Okay, but who's watching? Who's watching Chinese basketball?
No, but okay, what? So is the argument NBA against all football in the world?
But is
We're not doing NBA.
is the skill level in the Chinese league the same as the NBA? I'm saying the skill level in football, like right in like top 5 leagues, is practically kind of similar. Obviously, Premier League.
Because football's more international.
That's not my fault. You know what I mean?
That's not my fault. Give it a few more years.
That's not my fault.
It's not my fault.
This is how I think it's kind of changed.
Yeah, that's
because I'm with Darren as far as
change
like you guys have like that's why I keep bringing up the mechanics of football. You guys are now debating like the structure of a league, as in the NBA, the structure of like how
because you know why? Because
if what Darren's point is if an NBA game was structured as like groups and you play the exact same number of games and you have leagues, you kind of lose the argument because basketball like that's more exciting in that setting.
So whose fault is it that it's not exciting then? That's not my fault.
No, but that's the league. I'm talking about
but the game has to hold weight, and if it's not, if it doesn't hold weight, then what am I doing?
The weight of the game.
The game is a friendly.
You can win or you can lose.
That's what I'm saying.
No, but the draw is only important in terms of the structure of like that league.
The draw is important because the draw is a point.
All right, okay.
Okay,
so picture it this way. Forget about leagues and stuff. You've got a team of 11 people, I've got a team of 11 people, we play the game, right? You watch the game. The game ends however it ends. That, to me, is less exciting than a group of, like, you watch an NBA game independent of anything else, and you're just watching to see who wins that NBA game.
No way.
That is more exciting to me than the football.
Because you've seen people score bare times. In a football game, you're not seeing it.
No,
you're not seeing it. You're not seeing it.
That game can end like it's exciting. Like
you're not seeing it.
It's not even as exciting because you're standing around for the most part, and then whenever it happens, it actually
no, it's not.
happens.
You're not standing around.
And there's a chance no one can actually.
You're standing around a lot in football, man. Or maybe not standing, but you're moving like very slowly a lot of the time in football. Like,
but that depends on the team you're
So
playing.
I agree with what you just said there. Like if you take away leagues and everything.
That's what I thought we were arguing as far as like the games, not the
like the big
NBA.
draw to football is that fact that every single game matters. Like everything's always leading to either a championship or you progress into the next round.
If that's what we're arguing,
We're not put it this way. We're not watching football, watching basketball for fun. We're watching so someone wins, so there's weight in something. So that's why we're supporting them.
If we're arguing like the structure of like the sport, as far as like FIFA or whatever league, I'll give you that over NBA.
It's about the
but that's football, though. But that's football. You can't have that. You can't have football without that.
Who here has watched a football and a basketball game in real life? Like
I've watched a football match.
I've
not watched basketball.
Like what level of basketball?
Like, it doesn't matter what level.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I've seen people play.
Yeah.
And what do you think is more exciting?
Football game. Football game. Remember, I went with you.
I mean, when I went to it, it's going to be very subjective because it's football game I went to. It's an Arsenal game.
Okay.
So I'm obviously going to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to.
Well, we did it as a game as well, but like, just like sitting there, which one do you is more exciting?
I mean, that is
over average.
I've seen good Arsenal games where I have to say it's football.
Yeah, but you can say that. You can say, oh yeah, NBA or NFL would have a good like experience being there, but when you watch it on TV, it's dead. Like it's every 2 minutes there's something there. No, but no. I'm saying objectively, you just be in the stadium watching the game. You'd probably have a better time watching it at home and just like you're watching it and you're like, right, okay, they've just done a play. You're not really okay. Now we've got another one. In basketball, it's like the only thing that takes away everything is the fact that you score too many times.
So if in football,
and therefore the weight is lost. There's nothing basketball can do. There's nothing basketball can do.
Argument with the points, I don't know.
Because tennis has bigger weight than basketball. You see tennis? When they're playing, the weight is bigger. There's no.
To be fair, tennis is just like
It's 1-on-1. Yeah, 1-on-1. But
So it's
there's
Wait, so
weight to it. Like, you know what I mean?
example, I don't know if anyone does, but cricket, a game where there's loads of runs scored,
cricket.
like, there's a lot, it's very long, I know, obviously there's smaller formats where it can be more exciting. Would you say then that is a similar thing where because so many runs are scored, so many balls are played, etc.,
Nah, the game is just dead.
Yeah, it's I just don't like
Rounders or baseball, whatever, is probably is a better version of that.
Okay, cool.
But it's like, yeah, but even then, that's limited because there's only a certain amount of times you can hit the ball. There's only a certain amount of places you can do it. There's only a certain amount of things that can really happen unless you get that 1 in a million. Oh, it hits a bird, and oh shit, something happened. Like, you know, you're running around the thing.
So you're saying that's boring?
Like, it's more boring than football. Like,
Okay.
because
you can,
something like ice hockey is exciting.
So if football at some point got to a stage where the average per match was say 4 or 5 goals, would you then say that detracts from the excitement of football?
No,
because there's still like
it's 90
we still
minutes.
have leagues and like that. Everything's still impacted.
Plus, it's 90 minutes.
I don't know. For me, in my head, it's different. Like, if you're arguing the whole league thing, the structure of games.
No. But I'm saying like that's an integral part of football.
Yes.
Like everything's like every game you play is to win something.
Yeah, it's true. You can't have like obviously you have friendlies, but friendlies are to get ready for a season and stuff.
So if you say friendlies for thriller,
I guess
Of course they are.
I guess this is
It's pre-season.
I guess this is my argument. Like, you guys are arguing NBA compared to like football as far as like, because it's a whole different.
I'll argue NBA against Champions League. Just that one competition.
it's different.
No, but see, like, I think you guys will have to argue that. Like, what I think I'm trying to drill down to is, again, strip away everything.
Can't do that.
You cannot do that. Sorry.
So you're saying you can't do that, but you can.
You can't.
No, yeah, and that's
So
what get friendlies.
Yeah.
No. Shall I tell you why you can? Because if you look at the actual game, regardless of say what the win or the loss or the thing means,
Yeah, I'm just looking at what was exciting. Just
Watching.
that game.
Okay, who's playing? Who's on the pitch? Are we doing like World 11 stuff where all the best players from the world are coming in and they're doing a little game and then they're doing a friendly? Because that game is way more entertaining than any NBA game, even if you do All Stars. And that's one thing that NBA has.
Yeah.
We ain't got no All Stars. Boy, see how I just got that? I completely forgot All
NBA All
Stars.
Stars is not competitive.
That's not my fault.
No. If
That's my
NBA All Stars is competitive, you're losing the argument.
I didn't say it is. I'm just saying, no, but I'm saying you have that. Imagine we had that.
Yeah, but everyone people.
No, but it won't be competitive either because all the.
No, but it doesn't. No, you're not understanding the point. Whether it's competitive or not, you have it. You have at some point in the season, all these players that are eventually going to play on the same team and face each other on like as the best type thing. We don't get that in football. Everything is competitive.
Not really, because like again, like
It's not really. It is.
No,
That's
it's
what it
it's not,
is.
because like on the one
It is.
team,
It's there.
no, you're saying all these players like at the end of a given game, you don't have all the good basketball players. You have maybe 1 or 2 sprinkled here and there.
In the All
That's what I'm
Stars.
saying.
In the All Star game.
no, he means for the All Star game.
Oh, okay, fair.
Yeah, I'm not talking about in individual like teams because that just depends on who's there.
So what's your point about the NBA having that and football not having that?
What do you mean?
Like, it'd be
So
more-
are you saying
What were you
if
saying
football had that?
If football had that,
So he's
the entertainment level goes.
football All Stars.
So you think the football-
Yeah,
Okay.
because you're saying in a game that doesn't matter, and I said the All Stars because that's all your best players in a game that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I said put all the best players in the world in a game that doesn't matter in football, or even if it's in a little tournament. That game, that tournament is on a different level.
NBA, they're playing seriously. I'm sorry.
It's football.
You get Messi and Ronaldo on the same
I was
team.
thinking
Say something.
Yeah, but what if they're not really playing
I'm saying
competitively?
something.
Need to say that.
Saying about
If both of them were competitive, the football would still be better.
I mean, to me, if both of them are competitive, like they're both dead. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Say for me, no, but even then, this one is better because this doesn't even happen, and you don't see it, and you're really now you're really getting the ballers doing baller stuff because you get a couple ballers in good teams that don't really get to shine as much. Now you'll probably get most of the team most of the players that are playing are doing stuff in it, and when you're playing other ballers like that, that's all you're gonna do. If you have Neymar versus Neymar and Mane on a wing versus I don't know Salah and Mahrez, or I don't know who the top wingers are right now. Like you got Benzema, Ronaldo, you got all these top players. You got Van Dijk, Chiellini on the other side. You got Gomez, whatever. You got Alisson. You got what's his name? or black or whatever. Like you got all these top. The game's just interesting. The game's intrinsically interesting because with those higher players, they will raise their level to a different like type of game, even if it doesn't matter.
Do you know what your argument like loses water is the individual who is judging what's more interesting.
But that's if they enjoy football. Like if they don't, then that's them.
And this is why like that argument doesn't work.
Because
like all the players you're naming.
No, because the same way.
For basketball, you wouldn't be.
No, because the same way you're saying, oh yeah, you can't test yourself by being on your own with football. You 100% can. You can 100% improve your level the same way you can improve your level with basketball on your own. So, to me, watching the footballer do what they do is just way more interesting.
Yeah, I didn't what I meant was not saying that you can improve your skill level, because obviously you can. I'm saying whatever skills, like depending on the skill you're working on, there's more chance of that directly like impacting the game in basketball than it does for football.
Not really.
No, because you're working on free kicks.
You're working on running with the ball.
So what I'm talking about
you're working
is
dribbling with the ball.
skills, as far as like just getting past.
But this is all skill.
Yeah, but earlier you were saying that skill in football is a lot greater than anything else.
Thank you very much.
No, you're not understanding me. The skill is greater. I'm saying as far as like what correlates to like an actual game.
So you need little skill to improve in basketball. So you need little skill to improve in basketball.
Yeah, because it doesn't take much. In football, like as far as like working with skills, like I feel like you need to work with a lot more people for that to directly impact the game that you're saying matters. I'm saying if I'm just sitting with a ball in my hand, practicing my ball handling, that's going to help me more.
No, it's not.
More times in a basketball game than say practicing my passing ball in football.
No, but
so
if
this
you
is why I said like skill level.
No, because the same way you're saying you're handling, I can then practice my dribbling, and then the same way you're saying, oh yeah, I could do this. I'm practicing my dribbling, and I can also do.
Yeah, but it would take. I don't know. Yeah, like practicing the dribbling. I think it's going to take more dedication because I think to master the dribbling in football than it will basketball.
Because one that I was thinking of was shooting, but you could do shooting in football, like say take free kicks, and you could do shooting in basketball, like take threes for example. And then the difference is that one there's no keeper and one there's no defender. So if you add those two, then it's basically what you're saying. See what I mean? Like you can practice shooting by yourself, yeah. And then I can practice free kicks by myself.
Yeah.
The difference is that in a real game there would be a defender, and in a real game there would be a keeper. And there would be a wall.
Right, cool.
So,
the only thing you can work on in basketball is free throws without anyone.
But the exact scenario that you just raised is important because in basketball, this is why I said you could like as far as like directly impacting the game. You're saying that there could be a defender. Again, if I'm in a team where say the Golden State Warriors, where I'm getting like I could be like just a catch and shoot kind of guy. Yeah. I'm not always like I'm more likely not going to get a defender. I'm just catching the ball, putting it up. I'm more likely to impact the game. Based on, or as opposed to just waiting for someone falls and you get a free kick.
Okay. In that one, then, you could have one where you practice dribbling and shooting.
Everything you say can be applied to football. That's what I'm saying.
I didn't say it couldn't. I'm saying like the chances of it impacting a game directly happens more frequently in basketball.
No, but that's because you do more in basketball. This is what I'm saying. Because the play is constant. This is what I'm saying.
Bingo. Leads to more excitement.
No, it doesn't. Because if you do it, okay. Let me put it this way: if I'm watching a film and there is an action scene every 5 minutes, the film is not good. Because the film has no. Okay, there we go.
So would you say just as
that's an opinion, though.
Yeah, that's the opinion. But my opinion is right, and I can say it. And I feel it is based in truth.
As in, like, it depends on the person who's watching it. Because you might not like action.
No, I'm not. No, but you know what? No. First of all, I'm not saying I do not like action. Please.
No, I'm saying you might not. But
you might like the saturation of it.
Yeah.
Because okay, this is what I'm saying. Okay, you might like action, but a weighted action scene is better than a non-weighted action scene. And you'd rather have a good action scene that is weighted than 3 dead action scenes or 3 good action scenes that really don't have no weight. But it's just all.
Why is the NBA's action?
No.
I'm just saying though, and that's in linking it back.
No. I'll just talk about in terms of how many times you score.
But that's what I'm saying. So why is the NBA scoring not weighted? Just because it happens frequently? It could be
it's not weighted.
It's simple. It's in the games. No. So if they don't score, then it's not.
If I score 1 goal in football, it is way more weighted than if you score a free throw or a 3-pointer in basketball. There's nothing more simple than that. I can't lie to you. Because there's nothing more simple than that.
Okay, so
But
I don't even know what to say to
But
that.
that compared to your movie point don't mesh to me.
It makes perfect sense.
It
It makes perfect sense.
This is why
Makes
to me
perfect
this is why to me it does, because the only way it makes sense for you is in the quality of those action movies. In those action scenes. If Captain America is fighting Black Panther 5 times in a movie compared to like once in a movie.
Okay, don't put it this way.
Give me the 5.
No, don't put it this way. Rise of Skywalker. Bare action scenes. Trash. No weight.
Okay.
No, the fights weren't bad. Let me not lie. The fights weren't bad, but no weight. Episode 1, Phantom Menace. Weight.
Yeah, but what about the quality of that fight?
That's what I'm saying. Like the quality.
No, you're not understanding what I'm saying. You're not understanding what I'm saying.
No, but with that argument, let's say you're saying you take. Let's say
Even if you get a quality 5 times in a row, the fact that you've got it the first time, you're not appreciating it the same when you get the 5th time. No, you're not.
I am.
You're not. And most people are not. Most people are not. So when you score, no. Okay, no. Okay, I haven't done the survey. I can confidently say, if I see you do something amazing 1,000 times, 100 times, 10 times, after a certain number, my amazement is going to go down. I'm going to be like, all right, cool, I can see you mastered this. What are you doing next?
No, but
So
that argument only works
and
if
that
you're doing
happens.
the same thing
That
to a higher
happens.
level a bunch of
No, but
times.
this happens.
Action scenes are different.
This happens. I'm talking basketball. I'm talking basketball.
No,
Okay, action scenes.
Okay, so people score goals every game.
Yes, but I'm not.
Every game
But not. Okay, let me put it this way. In every game, people are not scoring 2 free kicks. There we go. In every game, people are not dubs in 4-man and then scoring.
In every game,
people are not scoring top bins. In every game, people are not scoring.
People are not doing windmill dunks.
Yeah, that's fine.
In every game, people are not doing.
That's
like,
fine.
behind the
That's
back.
fine. So when they do it, it's special, isn't it?
And when they do
But when they do it, it's special. It's special, isn't it? But what happens more frequent in the NBA or in football? Like, let's be honest with ourselves now. Let's be honest with ourselves. In most NBA games, they're not a dunk. In most.
Okay.
It's like pretty much all NBA.
So there we go.
Yeah, but all dunks are created equal.
Okay, that's not fine. But you're taking a dunk is supposed to be a special moment in basketball. Yes, the same way a free kick is supposed to be a special moment. Same. Like, let's not lie.
No, I don't think so.
It's not comparative.
I don't think you can equate dunks and free kicks.
No, I'm not saying it's the same, but I'm saying it is a moment, innit? Like, same way if someone crosses someone over, it's a moment. Like, same way if someone does a bounce pass through the legs, it's a
how
moment.
that comes about, because like I know what you're trying to say, but
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, but these are special moments, is what I'm saying. And they happen a lot more frequent in an NBA game than the special moments that happen in a football game. And because of that, there is less weight in an NBA game just by watching a game than there is in a football game. Because if football started scoring 24, 25, I'm going to stop watching because it's dead.
Yeah, but I think what it is at the end of the day, it's just your opinion, because there's people who could make the same argument that the fact that there's so many points scored is actually more exciting, which is what.
Yeah, but then it's like, okay, what's your defense doing if both teams are scoring 100 points?
Well, you could score maybe 50, 60 more if the defense.
Yeah, but that's fine. But to me,
it's just
that
it's
doesn't.
just different sports.
That doesn't. It doesn't hold no weight.
Did you watch the Arsenal versus Newcastle game or Arsenal versus Reading, where it was like 4 games?
Yeah, 4-0.
4-4.
Yeah, what's more exciting, that or Arsenal scoring like 2 goals or 1 goal in another?
You're
No,
improving.
it's different. Because
You're
what
proving
you're
my
saying
point.
is the fact that it happens less frequently.
You're proving my point.
Like, it doesn't happen all game.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, someone will probably score in a
But
game.
that game was surely not exciting. It was exciting, right?
Yeah, you're proving my point.
But,
doesn't happen every
but I'm
game.
also saying that with more goals, it's also more exciting.
Yes,
saying-
but if they started scoring
It doesn't
20
mean-
goals, it's not exciting. Because
Why does it have to
because after you scored the 6th goal, I'm thinking, yeah, okay, now we're getting goals and goals and goals.
7-5 was 12 goals in one match.
Yeah, that's 12 goals. That's not 40 goals. This is what I'm saying. And that 12 goals rarely happens.
But I can also say
Rarely.
before.
And it did happen over extra time as well.
I can also say because of the whole in football, there's no shot clock. You don't have to shoot.
That's not my fault.
Everything up until there can be boring. I'm not saying it is boring.
It can be.
But it can be
It
very
can be.
boring.
That's fine.
That's why I said it's like.
But this is what I'm saying in terms of doing an amazing thing all the time will eventually get boring. Like, it doesn't matter how good it is. If it is kind of the same thing,
It does.
it will kind of just be the same.
NBA that there's windmill dunks every second or every.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying.
But those are special, amazing moments, just like a free kick is.
Yeah.
So when you see like LeBron posterizing someone, he doesn't do it every game. He does it like every now and then.
No, I'm not saying he does it every game, but
People.
it happens in the game. This is what I'm saying. I'm not saying the person does it. Or I'm not saying Messi scores a free kick every time, but you know, it happens. Like,
Moral of the story is subjective.
more of the story is the fact that the points in basketball, the fact that it goes up to ridiculous numbers means that the weighting of the points are
Has
actually
anyone's
low.
opinions changed?
And that's
Which is more exciting? Football or
For me,
basketball?
basketball.
Basketball?
For me, it has to be football, just because everything
Football.
matters.
Mine's basketball.
Mine, I think I'm generally still in the middle. Like, I didn't actually say that. I don't think I said basketball was more exciting. I enjoy them both like equally, but I just don't get from some of his arguments. Like, I wasn't differentiating like that. But I'll probably say I'm still in the middle.
Of course, Anubis.
Yeah, football, everything. The original. And also, I feel like the tournaments are just better. You get the league.
That's how it's structured.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Again, you haven't seen this, but if you see this is perfect. The Rocker League. Have you heard of that? Do you know what it is?
Rocker.
No,
Rocker Park.
Yeah, Rocker Park in Boston.
It's like the
That
street.
league, I'm telling you, there's nothing in football that'll match that kind of excitement if you've ever watched it.
Oh, yeah, is that a 5-a-side?
Yeah.
Oh, so is that the point that I
No, but I'm
brought up?
talking about basketball, the game,
I'm
not
not-
the tournament.
you're bringing
Like,
up- you're bringing
I
up-
give it to you. I said,
No,
if you're
no.
looking at the structure of the NBA,
No.
it's like, I give it to football.
Yeah, he'd say.
I said that. I said the game. Just that's why I said, like, strip everything out. The game is more exciting.
Okay, but for me, the game of tennis is probably more exciting. So
Yeah, subjective.
that doesn't really do but that doesn't mean anything.
I
No,
don't
but that doesn't mean
think it's more
anything.
exciting than
No,
basketball.
but that doesn't mean anything if
I
it
don't
doesn't
think
mean
tennis is
nothing.
more exciting than basketball.
No, but it doesn't mean.
You're both arguing over subjective.
No, but it doesn't.
That's what I'm
No,
saying.
but I'm saying it doesn't mean anything. Like whether what sport is better if the weight is not better. That is all I'm saying. If you think basketball, the action, the 5-a-side, whatever is better, that's fine. But in the sport, the weight it's not even close. Everything they do is not even close until it gets into the finals, and even then it's out of 7 games.
I'm not
so
arguing
the
with
weight
you.
doesn't.
I agree.
So therefore,
that was my argument.
So therefore, for me, football as a whole, everything is greater than basketball, NBA, EuroLeague, Chinese League, whatever.
Agreed.
There we go.
But basketball, the game, is more exciting than football, the game.
That's
Yeah, but
you can tell by
No,
worldwide viewership though. Like the Champions League always gets far more
Yeah,
viewers than the NBA
Of
finals.
course it does. It's a more
So-
global thing. Like
Exactly.
Americans are like,
Exciting. Exciting.
it's not exciting. That's
No,
not.
I'm giving you actual data.
Yeah.
It's
No,
exciting.
It's exciting.
It's
but
Europe,
that's a cultural
it's
thing.
Europe.
No,
Obviously,
football is 100% more exciting.
It's watched around the world, but it's a European competition, so that already defeats the NBA because NBA is just an
That's
American
how-
sport.
Like I'm sure. Again, like you get game football as a monolith, greater in every sense.
As someone who doesn't watch either, as if someone didn't watch either, and you put them in like a final of what's happening, the football holds greater weight and will probably be more entertaining, whether the game's entertaining or not, than basketball.
Where's your evidence for that?
No, this is my
That's a
opinion.
statement.
This is my opinion, and this is what I'm saying.
Okay, I'll
That's
say
what I'm saying.
exactly what you said,
That's
but
what I'm
reverse football for basketball.
Yeah, because and I would say, after the person has seen that they've dunked this many times, because they don't really understand what is going on in terms of tactics, in terms of he's shielding this way, what kind of pattern of play is happening here, what kind of momentum do they have? They're just thinking, after he's just dunked, my man on the other side is probably going to do it. My man on the other side is probably going to do
So
this.
you're
going,
Okay. This one's getting cut. Wait, so you're telling me that if I'm someone who's never watched football and never watched basketball, and you ask me to watch the Champions League final or World Cup final, and you ask me to watch Game 7 of the playoffs,
This is someone who is invested in sport and is like,
they watch sports, but they don't watch
that
these two sports.
they get competitiveness. They
Okay,
understand
cool.
the competitive
Calm.
nature of stuff.
So you're telling me that I'm going to enjoy 2 teams basically sitting in a final, because that's what a lot of teams do. That's going to be a lot better. Depending on the team.
Okay, no, let me put the best football team, the most attacking football team, any era,
Cool.
and the best basketball team, M. Jordan, whatever, whatever, Scottie Pippen, all them.
Cool.
Wow.
Do that.
Oh.
So you're gonna tell me? Okay.
Do
You're
that.
about to lose that.
Do that.
You're about to lose that. If I'm putting every era of NBA
Do that.
together, you're about to lose.
Do
I'm
that.
sorry.
So what's the question?
that.
Like?
For a random person who's into
No,
sport,
I'm just saying. The game would hold. The fact that it holds more weight. The fact that you lot are not understanding the weight thing and you think it doesn't matter is kind of not understanding the
So this person is gonna watch people passing like side to side and stuff like that for a good 40 to 60 minutes.
And then when they get the goal,
yeah, and
it's like, oh, something's happening. Oh,
Cool.
oh, the game
But
changed.
meanwhile-
but with the NBA,
meanwhile, Scottie Pippen has done like 2 ridiculous dunks, and the person's there amazed at the athleticism and the stuff that's on display. Then they see him kick out to a 3-pointer, the same Scottie Pippen shooting the same thing, and then we see him block like LeBron James.
yeah.
And you're telling me they're not gonna they're gonna watch that and then watch man passing sideways and backwards. I'd say once.
No, because you see. Okay, let me see what you've just done. You've done the best thing that is on basketball.
That's not even
No.
I'll give it.
He's bringing like the best things, and he's not. He said, "Oh yeah, man, I'm just passing it like I'm Tony Cruz." No, okay, bring in Scottie Pippen. I wouldn't even bring in Ronaldo in it. I'll just bring in Charisma. I'll just bring in Tarap. I'll just bring in those guys in it. Those guys.
Alright.
You're seeing a man float all over the pitch in his own half, in their half, in the middle of the pitch, take on 4 man, make a pass with it outside of his boot. Hit the post, then hits the bar, then gets a free kick, then
So Adil Tarak flip-flap someone in the corner, yeah?
Mad.
Through his
Done.
legs, gone, that guy's out of the game, yeah?
Done.
Chips it in, yeah? Someone comes in and hits it.
Done.
You're telling me that's better than an alley-oop from Scottie Pippen to Michael Jordan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because you're not anticipation plays a lot in excitement.
I'm with you.
No, because anticipation plays a lot in
It's what you're
excitement.
looking for. It's what you're looking for. Because if you're looking for
No,
athleticism
take
and entertainment,
take that.
No. I'm talking
You
about
just said you're talking about a random person who understands competitiveness.
anticipation is a lot. And if I know, when I watch a basketball game, after the first quarter, I know, both teams are scoring. So it's no.
That's how many they can score.
Understand the point I'm making. Understand the point I'm making.
He's saying anyone can score, but you forgot one thing to say.
Let me speak. Go on.
Okay, the fact that you can both score after the first quarter, it means I am the person. The person will probably be mentally checked out until it gets to the end, because that is when it will kind of really matter, and that is when it's like, oh, okay, what? Now we're kind of seeing, because okay, if you're a team and you're 20 points up, and the team is already kind of seeing it, and you're watching it for the first time, you're kind of thinking, it's kind of, it's happening. If the other team then takes over, it's like, but then the other team can then take over again, and at that point you're thinking, with weight, it is not exciting. That is what I'm saying.
Wait.
Because if you can score all the time, it's not exciting. It's not simple.
No, Anubis, listen to what
I don't
you said.
understand.
You just said if you can score all the time, it's not exciting. I agree.
Yes.
This is why the NBA one is not exciting, because I'm going exactly with the parameters you said. You said I can pick any NBA best players from any era in single football. You're discounting the defensive capabilities of those
Exactly. They can stop you scoring this many
You don't
points.
know when you're getting a bucket.
Yeah.
That's not a guarantee.
Okay, so you're gonna tell. Okay, so what do you think the points of these games are gonna be?
You don't know. This is my point.
Okay. Probably not. Probably just over 100. Probably, depending on the defense.
There we go.
What's wrong with that though?
That is a problem. That's a problem.
They could clamp them down and the team only finishes with 70 points. And that's a good defensive game. Like, why is that not
Yeah. But to the random person who don't know basketball, they're thinking, right, they've got
You didn't say that. You said as someone who understands sport and
No, competitive sport, they don't know basketball. They don't know the weight of. Okay,
How would they know? How would they understand?
No, you're not understanding. No, because if you're a competitive person, you know how points work. You know. Okay, it's
As if they came from, like, say,
that's what I'm saying. It's like, you're playing tennis, you get this point, you win the point, it's 3 points for a this, it's 3 points for a set means this, You're not just scoring, and in basketball, it's just 2, 3. 3 point, 2 point, and then at that point, it's just, how are you going to score the goals?
No, but see, you're
The fact that it happens too many times,
you're boiling it down
takes
to
away the weight.
You're
That's
boiling
it.
it down to they get the ball, they shoot, or they.
I'm not. That's not what I said.
What happens in between?
That's not what I said.
It's about the points.
I'm talking about the fact that the points is there. Whatever, you can do whatever you want. You can do the waviest pass. You can be the best dribbler. You can do whatever you want. The weight of the points takes away from a lot of what they're doing, and that is it.
No,
That is it. That is it. In the competition of sporting events, and just stuff, it takes away. And that is different. That is different. Because if in the Champions League, all these games were ending, like 5-5, 7-6, 12-10, After a while, we'll be thinking, fucking hell, this is fucking dead. Like, all these defenses are shit. Like, they're not thinking, oh my God, I'm waiting for the next goal. Oh, it's so exciting. Because, you know, like, that's it.
We're not going to get anywhere because, like, that scenario you put, just put a random person in and you give them a chance to create.
Let me take it away from basketball. I'll take it away from everything sport related. Anything that you see multiple times, you see, you did here, you didn't look at it. You see the sunset, the first time you came here, you probably saw the sunset, like, rah.
What, Africa didn't have sunset?
No, I'm just saying from you live here in it, this year, you probably, You see a sunset, you're thinking, wow, that's kind of nice. Every time you come here, every time you see it, you're thinking, yeah, no, it's nice. But it's not as good as you saw when you saw it the first time.
That's subjective.
So
it happens everywhere.
So
and that is what I'm saying. That scenario and that viewpoint and how people think or mentality or whatever. That is in everything.
Do you know why that doesn't work?
Everything.
Do you know why that doesn't work?
Everything.
It's because that happens the same time every day, and it's a cycle. Basketball is not the same.
You're not understanding
There's
the point.
no like.
Yeah, I'm not talking about 24 hours or thing. I'm talking about, but you're here. That you're gonna see that a lot. I'm not saying.
I know when I'm gonna see it. I'm not
talking about.
Time like when
I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about the fact that you just walk in. Yeah, I'm talking about you just walk in, you see it, you're thinking, wow, that's nice. But if you see it every day, you're thinking, okay, that's nice. And at some point, you're not going to be as amazed as you were when you first saw it.
I think
it is that simple.
I think that's
this is why people fall out of love with people, because you know they had them when they first met them, they were fine. You get in love. After time, things happen, and you don't see it in the same way as you first did. That's the same. See, but that's different. You know what I mean? No, but it's not really. But my point still stands. Like,
I mean, everyone gets fatigued. Like, we have it at the pinnacle of like Messi not winning every Ballon d'Or, or LeBron not winning every MVP.
No. If you get the best sandwich in the world and you have it for the first time, yeah, bang it. But then if you have it every day for 2 weeks, eventually you're not gonna have it. Like, you're not gonna feel the same way that you felt when you first had it. It's that simple.
You never know though. What if you get, like, say, addicted to it, like watching sport or whatever? Like, you might not fall out of love with it. You might still like it.
I'm just saying that viewpoint is not subjective, and I don't understand.
But my argument is that viewpoint doesn't actually relate to like.
I think we should move on because we're not getting anywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So, wait, just one other thing, sorry. Did you say it's subjective? No. I just wanted to just clarify for myself. So you're saying the point that isn't subjective is the fact that because football has less goals, there's more weight into it.
No. Yes and no.
Okay, no, that's what.
No. Now I have to say my final thing is. My final thing is that the fact that you have that many points.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
no. The thing is that you see something as many times, as many, whatever you do, you eat as many things, you do as many things, it loses its weight in how you feel about it, how it's respected or whatever.
So are you saying that's definitely, it should be like, everyone should see that and think that?
I'm not saying everyone. I'm not saying everyone will, but I'm saying in some aspect of life they will. Okay. In some aspect of whether they think, they buy a painting, they bought it, and then 10 years later they're like, nah, I'm not feeling it now. So
you're describing that's I agree with you there. But my thing is that doesn't relate to like what's more exciting with basketball.
I think
it doesn't. If you guys getting a different kind of excitement from that, like that scenario isn't like what you're.
But I'm talking about in a competition sense, innit? That's what I'm talking about.
All I'm saying is that's subjective. For you, that law is in effect.
Okay, you say
it's not.
And you said, then it becomes about who's scoring more. And for me, football is not just about who's scoring; it's about who's trying to defend.
No, it's about who wins the game.
No. But I'm saying in terms of the high scoring type of stuff, that is basketball, innit? Like that is what it is. Simple.
Okay. It's a consequence of the competitiveness of the game. Like, that's not what it is.
No, that's what it is, isn't it? That's what it is. There's always a high score. No. There is always a high score in basketball. That is that every game it will probably go over 70 points, over 50 points.
Not always.
Most of the time.
Okay. Most of the time, yeah, cool.
Most of the time. That is what I'm saying. With that, with those type of points, the weight of those points is shared throughout a majority of the game. Therefore, their importance, even though it accumulates at the end, it doesn't really have the same weight during the game. So as I'm watching the game, I'm like, yeah, point, up until I get to the final points where it's like, okay, now it's kind of getting interesting if it's close. And if it's not, then it's like, I'm just finishing the game. In football, it's just not like that. And because of that, it makes it more interesting.
Well,
And there we go.
so you're equating weight of game to excitement.
I'm not.
That's exactly what you.
In terms of just weight, though.
Let's hang.
In terms of just weight, yes, because in football there's less goals, so every goal does count more, I guess. But
Which is more exciting.
but
That's what I just said.
Yeah.
You're equating the two.
I am.
Yeah, but I'm saying they're not the same. They don't work that way.
if I take an example of Game 7 of the 2016 NBA Finals, it was tied.
Look what you're saying. Game 7. In football,
It could be.
it is the final. And Darren's laughing because he knows.
No, I'm just saying this as an example because anyone that rings a bell. If the game is tied at 80-80, every defensive stop and every bucket made counts as well, and that has a lot of weight.
You're proving my point.
But
80-80.
points before.
No. 80. No, but I didn't say that. But the points are only weighted at 80-80. This is what I'm trying to say. Before that, it's point after point after point after point until you get to 80-80. Then, at that 0-0 point, that's when it becomes interesting, and that's when I'm involved. I'm like, alright, cool. Up until then,
whole clutch argument fails because most of the people, reporters, say, "Oh, you got to be able to score in crunch time." What about the time before? Yeah, it gets to 80-80. Those moments matter too.
No, it doesn't.
But it does.
It definitely does.
It does, but it doesn't.
Commentators saying that it's the fact that crunch time is the best time. Crunch time is the best.
You're not losing crunch time. That's the point.
I know, but when you get to crunch time is when it gets exciting.
It gets more exciting, even more exciting.
Exactly.
Okay. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's not exciting at all.
That's what
I'm saying it's at crunch time is when it's like, okay, this is going to kick off. This is the best time.
Pinnacle to peak. But that's the same way with me saying it's a 2-2 game or 3-3 game.
It's peak.
Extra time is its peak.
Yeah.
I didn't say it isn't.
Yeah, but that's like you're talking. That's like cup competition. But like in a normal game, if like Messi, like what he did against Atletico in the final when he dribbles past all those players and then he scored that goal, like that as a single goal by itself, it like means a lot more than someone like if LeBron crosses someone over, plagiarizes someone, that's only 2 points. But if like in the same flow of the game, those people scoring those points. So like that impact, like it's exciting at the time, but like in the whole grand context of the game, it doesn't matter.
So if Messi's team was 3-0 down and he scored that goal, does the goal not matter?
No, because you're 3-0 down. I mean, so it's still it's an exciting goal, but like in the context of the game, like you're still gonna lose. But like that's why like football, like each goal has like so much more weight, and depending on who you are, like the way you put on it could be like depending on how like what you define as excitement, whether or not scoring loads of goals. So that's what I'm saying.
Thank you.
I know, but I'm not.
You just made the argument.
I know, but I'm saying I'm saying you're both like saying arguing subjective things. I'm of the view that skill levels are similar. Football for me, I'm more excited about. But if someone says basketball, I'm like, okay. Like I'm not saying one's better than the other. I'm saying I prefer football because, like, for me, like, the way of each goal is more exciting for me. Okay.
Listen to how he ended it. He said, "For me."
Yeah, no.
That's why I said you're equating the two. I didn't say you were wrong for doing it. I'm just saying that's not how it applies.
No. But I'm saying in general sport and weight of what happens, that is why for me football is everything he just said is the exact reason why football is better. It doesn't get that to that. If basketball was like that crunch time most of the time, then, we'll be like,
No, it wouldn't be, because then your argument comes into effect.
No,
it's happening every time, loses the excitement.
No. You're kind of not proving my point. I'm not going to say, if people didn't score as much, it would be as exciting. But I would feel that if in a quarter there weren't that many goals, there would be more weight to when people score goals. And because of that...
Of course, yes, of course.
And because of that, there is more excitement in football.
But I wouldn't watch the 1950s NBA when the scores were like 2020.
Yeah, but you had 1950s when there were no black guys and it was they weren't doing their things, innit?
Today, I wouldn't watch Kevin Durant just holding the ball for like, I don't know, 20 minutes. Or passing it to someone else, holding it for 20 minutes. Passing it to someone else, 10 minutes, until the game's over.
But I'm saying in terms of, people, I'm not saying people aren't trying to score and people aren't trying to do all that type of thing. I'm just saying the fact that it happens so many times takes away the weight to when it does happen. So it takes away from the excitement of it.
You know,
it is that simple.
It takes away the weight. I don't agree necessarily takes away from the excitement.
Wait.
That's where we're
Weight and excitement for me it's linked to it.
I'm saying they're not.
It has to be linked.
That's what I'm saying.
If it's not linked, then you're not watching it. Then it means nothing. It means nothing. Then
Okay, so we can all agree that the weight of the football goals is more,
Yes.
but that it doesn't necessarily equate to the excitement of the game.
For him it does.
For him it does.
For me,
it does.
Yeah. Okay.
Because the excitement of the game depends on why I'm watching it, and if I'm watching it, that means I'm invested. I'm not just watching a random game because I want to watch a random game. Like, if I do, then if I do, I know anything can happen. So if you're watching the game, you're watching the game for a certain reason. So for that is my final say.
Yeah.
Football, basketball.
Next topic. So,